is a good podcast. Welcome to Mouse Out of Wedlock. This is a good podcast.
Jaw harp solo.
Washboard solo. Spoons solo.
And now the big finish.
Ham bone.
I like how that picks up.
I'm a regular. I forget what his name is from Police Academy.
What?
The sound effects guy.
Oh, yeah.
What?
For sure.
The sound effects guy from Police Academy.
Police Academy. A modern reference.
Jakeb doesn't know any comedy. I'm surprised you do.
Of course I know Police Academy.
I've never seen it. I don't like the police.
I agree. It's kind of like Airplane.
It's very much a, cops, am I right?
Yeah. Cops, am I right? Have you seen Airplane? It's like Airplane.
I love Airplane.
Yeah.
Welcome to Mouse Out of Wedlock. Welcome back, Xander.
Hey,
or should we call you Walker still? Or
that's a good point.
Yeah,
Thank you
happened?
for asking. Thank you for inviting me back on.
Yeah.
To
We
the
said
show.
you have to renounce God and we'll let you back on the show.
And I didn't.
And
what? You told us you
got
did.
away with it.
I tricked you.
You have to do it 3 times. You have to do it 3 times for it to count.
Yes,
That's how it works.
Exactly. And I did the loophole where I denied it to you, Colt, and then I denied it to you, Jakeb, but I didn't deny it to myself.
Oh.
I'm still on
The
tour.
cock did not crow.
Yeah. Thank you. This guy knows his Bible.
Hey, listen, I'm going to take back my title as Bible knower.
Bible. Yeah, you gotta. And you know what? Jakeb hasn't taken me up on my offer to pray for him.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I've been so busy. I don't know if I really can afford to spend the time in prayer.
10 minutes?
Yeah,
You can't spend 10 minutes to pray with me and God?
Well,
You can't pray with me?
to be fair, if you say 10 minutes, I assume that it'll go on longer, but it'll
pray with me
even
and
if it's
God?
only 9 minutes, it's gonna feel like a lot longer.
Yeah, because we're setting you up for eternity in heaven.
So is your tour over? What happened?
No, the tour's still going. So I
Okay.
went up and down the Gulf Coast walking for
Yeah.
a week. And
30,000 people?
yeah, 30. I mean, they're still walking.
Yeah.
My manager came pick me up, said I got to do the tour of some podcasts, and he flew me back to Austin to do a tour of a couple
So
of
this
podcasts.
is just media? You're doing
Yeah,
media?
I'm doing media right now. I'm talking about my tour. But
This is a press for your own
but there's a
podcast?
stand-in. There's a stand-in for me who's also walking down the road right
Oh,
now.
wow.
So I'm sure we could pull up the live footage of the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you see like the helicopter. That person up front.
This
I
is
don't
just
know.
Fox News saying there's a migrant group trying to cross the border. I don't
That
understand.
they notice that I am half Mexican, and
Yeah.
they got real panicky.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, are those police snipers on the roof aiming at that helicopter?
Oh no! Oh, I gotta call my manager real quick. That's him.
Oh God.
Oh
You're
God!
stand-in. No.
Oh,
He looks
Georgie?
just like you.
Georgie, are you on the phone? Georgie,
Yeah,
Georgie.
This is an emergency. This is bad, man.
Georgie, you got it. I just want to let you know I'm watching you watch me from afar on the helicopter. There's snipers pointing at you, pal.
Yeah, I know about the snipers. Our helicopter's been going off with that like ding, 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 ding.
They have lock-on radar for sniper
No,
rifles.
that's the seatbelt thing. That's the seatbelt. That's the seatbelt. Buckle your seatbelt.
Well, give me a sec.
Oh.
Yeah, that fixed it.
Yeah, but you still have snipers. Do you
Oh,
have,
yeah, they're
do you have the
the snipers.
sniper belt on? I just want to let you know that your check for 20% is going to be a little late, pal.
What
For-
does that mean?
That's the money as my manager you got.
I didn't really do this for the money, Xander. I did it for Christ.
Oh, what? It looks like the snipers are taking aim.
Oh, God.
I can see the pinpoint on your head, and yet I'm watching you from afar on a TV.
Man, this coverage from Fox is incredible. I don't understand how
High
they're doing this.
definition footage.
This is like a
from-
Michael Bay
Take
movie.
the wheel. Oh, no.
You probably should have said, Jesus, take the joystick.
Yeah, there's no wheels in helicopters.
Crash.
Oh, man. Waco 2.0 happens again.
Well, Xander, it's lucky that you weren't there. Also, I had to step out for a second.
Yeah, I figured you did. You were just so entranced by the video.
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite moment from your tour, Xander? Any when you called in last
Walker,
week,
by the way.
are you're still doing
Yeah,
that?
well, I mean, that's my tour name is Walker.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to do that.
I'll stick with it, Walker.
I feel like that won't be confusing for the listeners, so that sounds good. Did we introduce ourselves?
No. we
Yeah,
didn't.
so
Hi, welcome to Mouse Out of Wedlock. I am your host, Xander Walker Noland. I am clean Christian comedian.
Oh, God. If I have to listen to Xander talk in this Christian voice again for another hour, I'm going to kill myself.
Well,
I
get
started-
your will prepared.
And then to my left, the man who listens to these episodes more than anyone else and puts them together in a little podcast form and edits out all my ums, uhs, and long pauses that I have.
All the blasphemy.
All the blasphemy. Colt Joyce.
Thank you.
And-
Glad to be here.
Of course, the man who turns on lights and turns on me is Jakeb White, formerly Jakeb the Gray, is here.
That's funny. A-frame in the
that.
building.
That's really good. I'm sticking with that.
Okay, I'm going to start introducing you that way. Welcome to Mouse at Wedlock. This is the third time we said it. We're a comedy podcast out of Austin.
Are we?
We are certainly out of Austin.
We're certainly out of Austin. Comedy comes in many forms.
I've been thinking about it. My last name is White, and it seems like the trend is that people are only getting more progressive as generations go on. So I think I'm gonna have to formally change my last name.
You should,
because if I don't, my grandkids will retroactively cancel me for not changing it right now during this heated time.
So what are you going to go to? Blanco?
African American.
I don't think that's a good idea.
I'm going to call that a no.
Is that worse? Okay.
That's a no.
What could I? You guys have any suggestions? I need a new cool last name.
Blanco works.
Well, but it's the same issue, right?
So you said Blanco,
Sure.
but my brain heard Bronco, and I really want to. I love Jacob Bronco.
Jacob Bronco's pretty. Jacob Alexander Bronco.
I feel like you're biting my style a little bit though. If you go
name.
for that, there can only be one horse themed name on the podcast. I think.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Xander is a type of horse.
I think we should instead go the other way, and I should change my name to a horse.
And then we'll be the horse boys.
Xander Mustang, Jacob Bronco, and Colt.
And Joyce, Colt.
Yeah.
What's another horse name? You could be Colt Stallion. Colt Stallion.
I feel like I'm back in fourth grade with this a little bit with the name thing.
You're back and forth. What?
No. Just with like the Colt Stallion, Colt Stallion. That's like a fourth grade thing that happened to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Talk about it.
I mean, that's it. That was the end of the story.
Well, say it again, but slower.
Okay. One time in fourth grade, people were, I don't think they were trying to make fun of my name, but they were just, all they would say to me for like a month was Colt Stallion. It's like a horse. It's like a baby horse. It's like, come on, guys. What is happening?
That story was better the second time.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
I love that. You were the victim of children first learning what word association was.
And now you're the victim of being on a podcast
In
with
which-
two people who are still figuring it out.
Doing word association.
I've never grown past that phase.
I see.
I'm still there.
He loves a portmanteau.
I love it. You asked me what my favorite.
Yeah, your favorite moment.
Yeah,
from the
my
tour.
favorite moment from just being the greatest Gulf Coast comedian. And this is what I was going to say. You were going to say you don't want to listen to the voice anymore, and I get that.
Right.
I do, and
You're doing it right now.
I know I'm doing it as an example.
Yeah.
As a comedian, they talk about. I don't know if you know this.
As a comedian is so fucking funny. I love just starting a sentence with, as a comedian, fuck you. Suck my dick.
As a clean Christian comedian.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the things they talk about often is the that you have to craft your own voice.
Right. It's got to be authentic.
Exactly. The voice I had been using
Right.
is great for prayer and the worship part of the service.
Which is when you're not supposed to be authentic.
Yeah.
The rehearsed parts, like prayer.
prayer and do it for the Bible. Like those are the parts where I go into that and I want to make sure you're feeling okay and calm. But then I do this, this part of my voice, this like, I gotcha voice. That, you know what I'm saying? Like this is, I gotcha.
Yeah.
This is good for the comedian side of my clean Christian comedy.
Right.
And I was talking to my manager. We're going back and forth. Rest in peace, Georgie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Rest in peace, Georgie. You're up in heaven now. The golden gates.
He would have wanted that.
He would have wanted that.
Yeah.
Sure. He's fine.
Maybe one day if our podcast goes to heaven, we'll run into him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Future Patreon?
I mean, we got to set up a Patreon. We got to have followers to set up a Patreon.
We have
one.
one.
We're a couple steps behind.
We have two. Anyways, just I realized that this is the voice that I should do for the podcast to make it a little more interesting. So I'm gonna So that's what I'm doing.
Oh,
I love you, Zed. It is so funny.
So I want to
What's up, Jake?
interject. Last night,
Yeah.
I have to share this story because I have to share this with somebody.
We're
Last
here
night,
for you.
I'd love to hear it.
You guys familiar with the Jackbox Party Pack games?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Last night I was playing Quiplash, but the internet connection was really bad, so we kept trying to play it and submitting answers, doing all the hard work, and then it wouldn't show up on screen. So did all the work of coming up with funny prompts, no reward of people seeing it. So I want to share one that I wrote last night.
Okay.
Okay.
The prompt was a challenge that they would never do on Fear Factor, and I said, have an hour-long discussion with Joe Rogan.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Thank you very much. And you guys,
The podcasts are actually 4 hours long, though. To be clear.
oh really?
The Joe Rogan experience is like 4 hours long.
Every day
dude.
too. Like, what is he doing?
Smokes weed.
God,
With
what a
his-
life.
Yeah. Jamie, pull that up. Jamie, I know they're killing white people overseas. Pull that up.
You know, I love all the defenders too. They're like, hey, if you were doing 4 hours, 5 days out of the week, you too would say some insane shit.
Jamie, they're banning growing your own food overseas. Look that up. I can't find it, Joe. It's fake.
No, I know it's
No.
real in France.
It's just Breitbart articles, Joe. It's just Breitbart.
Oh, it's gotta be-
click one of those.
My God. My God. I feel like
He's chilled out a little bit now.
has he? I haven't
I think
listened
so.
to him in a while.
He's pretending to be a lib again, which is better, I guess.
He probably got like a talking to from a Spotify exec as he's like doing like snorting some
No.
cocaine off a desk. Was like, hey, listen,
Maybe. I don't think so.
hey, we had to remove some of your episodes, 70 episodes, because you're too racist.
Yeah. Stop saying the N-word, Joe. Stop it. Stop it.
It's just for example.
Oh, right. Yeah. I was telling a story. Someone else said it. I was just repeating it.
You wouldn't understand the story without the context.
That's kind of one of the reasons as a clean Christian comedian I can
Right.
say weird and rude things. And
You're just repeating.
I'm just telling a story. I'm just giving part of my
Yeah.
testimonial as I'm doing it.
That's good.
That's it. So
Yeah.
I get Walker Nolan gets Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
I don't know.
you
I'm
think
not
Walker
not
Nolan-
hating Joe as much these days.
Yeah, you're busy with JP.
Oh,
Jay Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
And
No,
Andrew Tate.
I've changed my target to Andrew Tate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
We're like,
He just got banned, which is
he
kind
did
of cool.
from
Did you do
everything?
this one too?
No, this one was not me, but the Jordan Peterson one I will claim. No, he got banned from Facebook and Instagram yesterday,
Good.
which is good.
Is he on
I mean,
YouTube? Does he need to get rid of like I don't know.
TikTok is the biggest platform.
Fuck that guy, man.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
I was
Do
reading
you,
some
do
of
you know
his
who Jordan Peterson is?
twits.
I know. Yeah, I mean Andrew Tate.
Oh, that's what I meant. Sorry.
I don't know anything. I've only seen my new roommate has shown me responses on Twitter to stuff he said.
Oh, sure.
That's it.
Well,
I don't know anything. that
he's
he says.
U.S. He was born in Chicago. He moved to London. He was a kickboxer. He was kind of bad, honestly.
Oh yes, no. I read the Wikipedia on this guy the
Yeah.
other day. His record is 1-0 for professional fighting.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
I
Undefeated.
thought-
Undefeated. I'm 100%.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. Well, he's like a sex trafficker. He has like a webcam business, and he's been accused of holding women captive.
That sucks.
Yeah, so he lives in Romania currently. He's like a manosphere guy.
Oh yeah, because it's hard to get like tried for rape there. That's
yeah,
the big thing.
Literal
And
quote from him.
but-
the
but
rape laws
also-
are lax in Romania.
What I saw
Jesus
in
Christ.
on Wikipedia is that he's still being like prosecuted there.
Yeah.
So that's if you're such a rapist that Romania thinks, hey, we should look into this guy. You might be
He's just kind
Andrew
of
Tate.
Yeah, is that a new comedy thing?
Yeah.
From you might be Andrew Tate.
it kind of goes back to what we were talking about
Yeah.
like way back with the Yuga Lab stuff. Not in the
Yeah.
same way, but it's kind of interesting to see people talk about it that aren't as much online because Andrew Tate's like clips have gone so far past like his main message. And a lot of those clips are just like him saying ridiculous, funny stuff. Like he's entertaining. It's hard to dispute that Andrew Tate's not entertaining, but if you keep digging deeper and deeper, there's a lot of bullshit that's pretty vile. And the weird thing is like he's marketing directly to young, like middle school to high school boys, and that kind of is insane because it's just like pure misogyny. It's like vile shit. Like women can't drive is one of his big talking points currently, which is kind of insane. kind of a weird, wild take.
It's a huge
wet and
step
wild
backwards.
take.
Yeah.
I feel, and this is just a wild opinion.
Sure. Yeah. Say it.
Here,
Go for it. Yeah.
that white guys can't drive. I mean, I say it, crazy opinion, but
I feel like I can drive pretty well.
it's like
He's also not white, I don't think.
is he not?
No.
Andrew Tate? I don't know.
Well, I am, and I can't drive.
I'm just as someone who I just came back from Houston, in which case it's like
How was Houston?
every time I go there, I realize why I don't living there.
Yeah.
It's
Was it flooded currently?
But probably great for your tour.
yeah. Oh, good. So killer for my tour. I was making mad money there. Well, it's just the driving there. Like everyone complains about the drivers in their cities, but like
Sure.
I can pretty much verify Houston is some of the most like consistently.
Sure.
Like, there's different types of bad driving, right? There's different flavors. With Spring in Houston, primarily, it's a lot of overly aggressive asshole drivers and huge giant white trucks.
I see.
Which you also get a lot in Dallas, but in Dallas it's a little more clueless. Well, like Houston is just like fuck you.
The
just
entirety of the Gulf Coast has some of the worst drivers
Yeah.
I've ever been through. Like driving through Alabama or like,
Yeah.
that shit's scary.
it is insane. Well, like Austin, I just feel like people are stupid. Like it's just like kind of oblivious driving here. I don't know.
It's the big trucks that people don't know how to actually drive.
I hate. Why do you have a big truck in Austin?
I don't see as many here as I see in other big cities. Like,
I mean, I do see them more in Houston, but like you still see them here. I'm like, come on.
I just went to Dallas last week. Man, I rode a Greyhound for the first time.
Oh wow, how was that?
It was hard to be on.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Do you have a seat to yourself, or were you jammed in there?
I was next to some guy. It was like I got on at 3 a.m. to go to Dallas.
From Austin?
Yeah.
There's a Greyhound from Austin.
Yeah. So from Austin to Dallas, it's like runs from like
Guess it makes sense.
the border to Dallas, and we're at one of the stops on the way. I was supposed to take another Greyhound from Austin to Tyler, so I got on at like 3 a.m.
3 a.m. ground at Greyhound sounds scary.
It was it was very sketchy just sitting outside of the stop. I sat down next to some guy, open my book, start reading a couple of pages, and then as we start moving, the lights all come off, and I felt like an idiot for thinking I was going to be able to read on this thing. It was the only entertainment that I had brought, and it was just pitch black.
You didn't even have like your phone with you for music or anything?
It was like I had to keep it alive.
Oh, sure. They don't have chargers on a Greyhound?
They have chargers, but I have to use a wireless charger, and that's hard to do on the bus.
He has very specific system. He has to massage his phone.
Isn't your like charger broken or something?
Yeah. My charging port is bad.
Bad charging port.
Bad. Naughty.
I used to take the Greyhound from Denton to Houston a couple of times a year back when I went to college in Denton. And the thing between those two cities is a certain town called Huntsville with the state penitentiary, like the county jail is like on the route. So you both have the county jail and the state prison. So every time it gets there, you just see a bunch of dudes who just got out of prison and jail.
Getting on the bus.
Getting onto the bus. And so like ultimately, like after a couple times, you're like, these guys, like
that actually seems kind of cool, honestly.
Well, like when you're a young college kid who's like very sheltered, it was like at first you're just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But like by a certain point, you're just like, these they're just normal dudes who just got out.
Also, they just got out. They're not gonna like stab.
Yeah,
you
they're not gonna stab me. The only time I ever like would get really sketchy was just in the Dallas hub.
Oh, sure.
Because like it would go from Denton to Dallas, and then you would have to wait for the Dallas to Houston bus. And that one would be a little like that place would be a little sketchy, and the one in Austin can be a little sketchy too.
Yeah, because I mean, when I got there, it was locked. You just had to be outside.
Yeah.
So I went to the Dallas hub,
gotcha.
And it blew my mind because like, I'd never been on the Greyhound. I'd never had an experience like it. But I went into the Dallas hub, and it immediately hit me. The Greyhound is like an airplane for poor people.
Exactly.
Yeah, like it's just set up. It's got terminals, and people are sitting there with their luggage in like the airport rows. There's like shitty food that you can buy way overpriced in the. It blew
it's like
my
the
mind.
worst version of a train imaginable.
Yeah. It's really shitty that we don't have better ground transportation.
Trains. I'm horny for trains.
I love trains.
Pro trains.
One of my favorite trips I've ever been on, it was from Dallas to Chicago on the Amtrak.
Oh, really?
So fun. Like I just went up to the observation.
You have like a bed compartment and stuff?
No, I mean, it wasn't like, I didn't pay for that. Like,
how long does it take to get to Chicago?
It was like 18 hours. So like I just slept
you
in my
could
chair.
live it.
You can walk
and
around,
it was like,
right?
and like it was like half empty, so you're just hanging out.
Seems cool.
Which is cool. Like you stop somewhere, you can run in and go get some food and get back on the train. Trains rule. I just wish we had more of it.
There's
and it
not
was
enough,
also cheaper. Like that's another thing. It was expensive as expensive as an air flight.
Oh really?
Yeah, but you got to see the world.
No, like you see the benefits, but like if you're
like even now, do you think it would be? Because flights have kind of spiked. Flights are crazy
I don't
right
know. I
now.
haven't looked into it, but I love trains. The Amtrak, like going up on the observation deck. I brought my laptop and I made music as we like went through Arkansas. It was so cool. It was fun.
I just want to live in a city with like a metro. I just miss visiting like Chicago or I hated DC. Like DC is disgusting, but I enjoyed the metro there even.
I loved Chicago's metro. Anytime I go there, I would take the train down to the museum district and just like
Chicago's pretty fucking awesome, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just so cold is the problem.
Just, 6 months up there, 6 months down here.
If I have enough money for an Airbnb up there for 6 months, I might do it.
I officially booked my plane for New York.
Oh,
I'm going to spend 2 weeks in February in New York, and I haven't
See
planned.
Clown Core.
So what's the date you're going?
Also
the end date of the podcast.
That's
because
a good
you'll
point.
never
The
return.
series finale of Mouse Out of Wedlock.
The 12th to the 26th.
Okay.
Sunday to Sunday.
Of December?
February.
Oh, damn. Okay, we got some time.
Yeah, we got some time. We can really dig into all the topics we want to get into.
Yeah.
Like this one. Welcome to State Your Opinion.
Oh, no.
All right, here we go.
Yes, I'm going on tour there.
Yeah, here we go. So, boys, so far we've talked about
South Dakota,
South
Montana,
Dakota, Missouri.
Arkansas. No, Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri.
Missouri, sorry.
Montana, South Dakota.
47 to go, baby.
47
We're killing
left.
What
it.
a great segment.
Yeah, it's
We're killing
good.
it.
It's good.
I can't wait for this to be over before we finish because the series is going to end because Jakeb is leaving. We're not going to finish all 56.
Well, if we get to
You
February,
can call in. That can be your. You can call in. Do state your opinion.
Okay.
If we get to February and we haven't finished, we can just do an episode dedicated to knocking out every state that's left on the list.
That sounds like a really good episode.
Sounds like everyone will enjoy that.
Everyone will love it. Here we go. Spin that wheel. How do you spin the wheel? Spin that wheel.
Oh, there's music.
And today's state, Maryland.
Maryland. Baltimore. Wire. The Wire.
I haven't seen The Wire.
It's really good. It's so good. I love.
I haven't seen The Wire either.
It's my favorite show of all time. Is The Wire.
Lib.
I mean, fair. I do get all my opinions from The Wire. I adore that show. My roommate right now.
I've heard it's great.
It's good.
Yeah.
I also don't have a lot of people who have watched it because like it feels intimidating. It's not intimidating.
It's kind of old too, isn't it?
Yeah, early 2003 to 9.
Yeah.
So like it is old.
I wouldn't be watching it when it came out.
Right.
For sure.
I don't watch it until like halfway through college.
I see.
I mean, if you watch The Sopranos, you can watch The Wire, in my opinion. But I adore that show. My roommate is watching it for the first time right now, and I'm watching. Like, I'll catch episodes with him, and it's really nice because I've never had anyone to talk about it with.
About
and
The
so,
Wire.
So he'll be like watching. I'm just like, yes, he's liking it. He loves it. Yes.
Yeah, I've seen
That's
the
fun.
first episode like twice, and that's about it. I kept trying, or it kept twice. I tried watching it. I think both times. Once the second one came on, it was late and I fell asleep. And then when I woke up and it was like 4 episodes in, I was like, I don't know where to pick this up. I'll try again in a few months.
I love the Baltimore accent.
It's so that's one of my.
Baltimore.
I don't know if is that it?
Yeah. You want some lobster?
Is Stavros in the room?
You want some lobster with your wire under your shirt?
One of my favorite
Get
things.
out of here. This is my
The
new
good police.
persona.
The good police.
The good police.
Yes, that's what The Wire's about. It's saying
Yeah.
that the police are good.
The good police.
The criminals
The
need
police.
to go to
Police.
jail.
Police. Good police. I love in that show that they just get real Baltimore people to just play themselves, which is great because you'll just have these scenes with like an actor Idris Elba with his honestly Idris Elba's voice is so good. It is the
I love
best.
Idris Elba.
He has, as Stringer Bell in that show, has one of the best American English to American accent.
Is he
thing.
doing a Baltimore accent?
He's doing a Baltimore, and it's real
And
thick.
he sounds just like this.
It's exactly like
I
that.
don't think that's the Baltimore accent. I think that's nowhere close to.
I don't think that place exists.
I love the Orioles.
This is like New York garbage man.
Hey,
It's an
you guys
alien-
watching The Ravens?
It's like Sicilian almost.
The
Good,
Blind
good.
Side.
It's a good show. It's the blind. I thought the Blind Side was in Texas.
He plays for the Ravens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sandra Bullock has a Baltimore accent in that movie.
She's from my neighborhood in Houston.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of one of those like, oh yeah.
That's funny.
When I think about the woman in that area, and like, oh yeah, you definitely took advantage of this young black man, and now the movie's about you. How did this happen?
Yeah, Michael Orr hates that movie.
Really?
Yeah, the guy.
Oh, the guy who's like, it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet he does.
Yeah, he
it's
hates that
so
movie.
insulting. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't have done anything without this strong white woman.
This preacher's wife saved me, got me off the streets, put me in the NFL. Yeah, fuck that movie.
Yeah. Anyways, they have these like really fancy actors like Idris Elba who are like classically trained.
Yeah.
Next to just this street person from
Baltimore.
From Baltimore, or like a cop from Baltimore. They just like
That's cool.
like this really thick voice.
Oh, that was the real
was
accent.
closer.
That
That
was
was
close.
closer.
That was close.
I could do it very specific times of the day.
I have to be repeating something.
Right.
Yeah, I have to be like doing a line to do an accent. I
You
think.
need the hook.
I'll give
You
you
need
a
the hook.
line.
I kind of also have to hear it.
Yeah,
before,
no, I'm gonna give
so.
it to you. Well,
You okay?
Okay.
take the train.
Here.
Go to DC. Get on the bus.
Talk about how you don't get hours at the docks.
I'm tired of not getting the union.
Yeah.
This failing me. Why am I paying all these
He
dues?
could have been in The Wire season 2.
He could have. He really could have.
I got a gun. Watch out! I got a gun.
Whoa!
Right,
All right, I'm
yeah.
calling David Simon right now, and I'm
Time
getting
for a
you
reboot,
on
boys.
The Wire.
Time for a reboot.
Well, he did kind of do a reboot recently.
What?
Really?
Yeah, he did a new series. It's just a mini series called Beyond the City.
Wireless.
Oh yeah.
It's with John Bernthal, and what it's about is like a real cop controversy that happened right after like The Wire finished, like, and then it was like from 2009 to like 2015 or so, no, 2016.
I think I saw a trailer for that or something.
It's really good, and it's
Looks
really
pretty good.
like, and it's just like, oh, cool, like, just truly like society is beyond fucked. Like, it's one of those. It's like, oh, cool.
That's
I think
good.
you would like it just for the pure like cops fucking suck.
I
For the
don't think I need to
doomism.
watch anything else to know cops fucking.
Yeah,
suck.
but it's fun. It's fun to see them. It's fun to see.
I can't watch that shit anymore. It just makes me like bummed out. Like Making
Fair.
a Murderer was like, I don't want to watch this. Like,
That one's really.
especially like season 2. It's just like, God,
Oh, season
I
2.
can't
felt,
watch.
like,
I can't watch
so much.
7 more hours
Yeah.
of just like this kid getting fucked up. I can't watch it.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
You know,
This microphone smells like vape. Who's been vaping into this microphone?
Uh-oh. I'll just put that
There
down.
it is.
Sorry about that.
everyone's pointing at Jakeb. Well, the audience is pointing at Jakeb
And just
too.
like that, the vape goes away.
Wow.
It really does. It's kind of weird.
Better than gingivitis.
Maybe.
Slightly.
Hey, what's up, Xander?
No.
Wait. No, we're not done yet.
Yeah,
with
if we're
what?
not done,
Sorry.
yeah, please. Mm-hmm.
And that has been State Your Opinion.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow. We didn't really talk about Maryland that
We
much.
just talked about The Wire. Maryland. Their catchphrase is The Wire.
Their college football team has cool uniforms. That's pretty much all I know
That's
about
cool.
Maryland.
Good for them.
They're called the Maryland Terrapins, which is a turtle.
I feel like at least three out of the 4 State Your Opinions, you've thrown out football facts.
I don't think that's true.
I think that is true.
I think that is
Which
true.
ones?
You did Missouri.
I talked about Missouri because that's literally we played them all the time. That was
Mhm.
you asked if they were our rival in sports. You brought it up.
Well, I asked
So-
I asked if you brought up rival in sports. I asked
No,
if
no,
they
no, no.
I asked if you were their rival in life. You know, like kind of how
Audience. Audience.
like
No.
yeah, I did. I listened
No.
to this episode like
Okay.
this week. It's because it's like I asked in the same way that Texas has like a
Oh,
I
sure.
hate you rivalry with Louisiana or Oklahoma, the states.
And I said no. We have a rivalry in sports.
Yeah.
Audience.
Cold
Here-
court. I win again.
Here's the real court. Audience court. Audience court. Go listen to the episode.
Oh, great democracy. This is gonna work.
Go listen to the episode and respond to this episode on Twitter and let us know who is right.
That'll be fun. That'd be good.
You, the audience, are the real judge.
You're also responsible for making the poll.
Actually, I'll do that. I'll make the poll. You answer
Thanks, Xander.
Thank you, Xander. It's
because
just gonna
I'm
be
impartial.
it's just gonna be me and Colt voting on ourselves.
Hey,
I'll vote for you. I'll vote for you.
Oh, cool.
I already know there's gonna be a future Cold Court episode
Really?
for Jakeb and I,
Yeah.
because guess who released another double LP?
Oh no.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No.
Woo!
How is that possible? It's been like 6 months.
They
Yeah.
released another one,
How'd they do that?
and That's good.
There won't be another cult court because as of the results of that one, I got the right to not trust you when you tell me it's good.
Yeah.
But Jakeb, this one's
got an affidavit.
Jakeb, this one's really good.
Let me just pull out this piece of paper Colt prepared for me.
Yeah. Okay, let's you and I, Jake. Let's sing one of the songs from the new album without hearing it.
Okay, here we go.
I don't want to California, sex on the beach. Is that what it sounds like?
That was really good. And yeah. I like you're saying it like an insult. It's not. Thank you. I love that. I just got another free Red Hot Chili Peppers tune.
Yeah.
From you two.
It's like I feel the same way about this. Like if you were a fan, like actually a fan of like monster trucks, I'd be like, why? But like, I guess it's fine. But like, why?
Nah, dude. Monster trucks rock. Cool. Monster trucks are awesome.
No, but like if you if you were like traveling around like every other week and you were like, I'm gonna go to a monster truck rally and watch cars get smashed. That's what I do for fun. That's how I feel about you liking the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's not like
I'm in awe of your awesomeness.
I'm just like, why? I'm just confused. Like that's the end of the race.
My thing here is, what do you have against people who want to go to monster truck?
Have you been to a monster truck?
Yeah,
I've been too.
Fucking rocks.
It's not that cool, guys.
Smashing cars, the big jumps. It's so loud. I met Spider-Man whenever I went to a monster truck.
For sure.
No.
We're gonna get attacked by the monster truck rally.
This is the community we piss off. We've tried for months and months. Xander's been picking at scabs, and here we are.
And Colt just takes the knife into the heart.
Gravedigger's gonna come after me. All 7 of them.
Demolition derbies, fucking sick.
Hell yeah.
That's a different thing.
I love both. They're just boom, big boom.
That's one of my dreams is to drive in a demolition derby.
Would you do it in your own car?
Yeah, absolutely. Because my car's a piece of shit for sure.
Is your car gonna die?
Yeah.
All
our cars are gonna die one day. Less.
Not me. My car's built different.
Are you going to keep the kayak on top?
Well, yeah, for sure.
On top of your car?
What I'm gonna do?
It's a projectile weapon.
Exactly. I'm gonna put a big spike in the front of it. Yeah. So I'll run into someone, loosen the strap, and then it flies out.
You'll just cut the cord from inside your car. The cord that goes down and like straps underneath your seats to keep the thing.
Sick. Yeah. And it comes loose and smashes the other driver in that.
Yeah, they get Final Destination through their windshield with a kayak.
I love that.
No rules, baby. No rules. Just 2 cars enter, 1 man leaves.
Do you remember Twisted Metal?
Yeah.
Yes.
That game was so cool.
It's so good.
Did you guys ever play Test Drive Eve of Destruction on the PS2 by any chance?
No.
Tell us about it.
It's a demolition derby game. It was like open world. You were supposed to like get cars that were pieces of shit and then drive them and crash them. And the soundtrack was a lot of Hoobastank. So I have like
video game soundtracks used to be way better. Yeah. I don't know what happened.
I don't know if I want to associate a lot of Hoobastank. Yeah, video game soundtracks used to be a lot.
No way. No way. Those songs rocked.
Halo 2 soundtrack is one of the greatest soundtracks of all time.
I mean, I agree with that. I'm saying like also like there used to be like
also could have used some Hoobastank.
It does have Hoobastank.
What?
Yes. Halo 2 soundtrack has Hoobastank.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't played.
They have a song called Get Connected. It's fucking sick.
That's funny.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I was more thinking like mainstream music you used to be able to like listen to mainstream music more in video games. You can't anymore.
Yeah, except for GTA.
GTA,
that's
FIFA.
not mainstream anymore.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, the sports games.
I'm saying like racing games used to have like the big hitters of rock.
I feel like I don't. They don't. I feel like surely Forza Horizon does, right?
Well, there also are.
I'm talking about fun racing games, not Sims.
Fair. I don't like Forza. Like I have this one friend who wants me to love it. I'm just like I cannot like this game.
I can't play a sim like even a real sports game or like a racing game or like any of that shit.
I've been playing golf sim lately. I've been playing PGA 2K21.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good.
Who do you play as?
My custom character. He's got green hair and green eyes.
That's fun.
And he's got pointy ears.
You could be like a golfer from like the 80s.
Thank you, I think.
Yeah.
No, that's a good thing. Like you got like there's like a certain build of like golfers from the 80s.
You look like John Daly.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I think I've got John Daly energy. I would love to do that. Be the guy who's like out there and just like fuck yeah, we're on like a bogey.
Have you seen the one where he's standing next to Tiger Woods and Tiger's wearing like his red polo and like the crisp pants, and John Daly's drinking a beer, smoking a cigarette in a Hawaiian shirt,
and like shorts.
Yeah.
John Daly's one of the coolest people.
Yeah, he's the golfer's golfer. Like everyone else there is a professional. He's like all of the amateurs, all condensed into one.
Yeah. Shout out John Daly.
Yeah, shout out. Come be a guest.
Oh, I'll hit him up.
That'd be actually sick as hell.
I'll bring. Hey, John Daly, come out to Mouse Out of Wedlock. We're not a golf podcast, but we want you.
Well, we could be. I love golf. I'm a huge. I don't follow it, but I love playing it.
I love golf games. I love golf games, and I love golf games, and I love baseball games. And I actually like watching baseball because it's chill. Like you just hang out
with people. Watching baseball by yourself, sober, is the boringest thing ever. I'd add that little qualifier there, but
no, I agree. Like I of the games, like what's everyone's favorite sports?
Sport like to watch?
Yeah,
to watch. My answer is silly.
That's fine.
Either like
we're a silly podcast.
This guy likes Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's true. And you don't like monster trucks.
I don't have anything against.
My favorite favorite sport is monster trucking, but my second favorite sport is billiards or like snooker.
To watch?
Yeah, I love it. Like
where do you watch competitive billiards?
It used to be on ESPN2 all the time when I was a child.
This is off topic, and I want to go back to your billiards thing, but you see there was an XL Championships on ESPN2.
That is amazing.
That is
no
so
way.
Cool.
That was fucking wild.
Oh, I would watch that so much.
One of my favorite things to do is like not one of my favorite things, but I love watching like YouTube. Like Excel wizards.
Well, you would be way into this. I
that
think.
sounds like I'm a big. Unfortunately, I like esports, so I have but I like real sports.
What game?
I adore StarCraft and StarCraft 2.
Just watching it. It's pretty cool to watch.
It's like I know enough of like how the mechanics of the game work because I used to play it. So like I know enough to be like, oh, this, and this is really fun. And so like I have it's one of those ones where I'm like I'm actually invested in the game and I like it. I haven't watched it. Like I go through like periods where I watch a ton of it, then I don't watch a lot.
Yeah.
But I love StarCraft 2.
StarCraft's pretty fun.
It's the Financial Modeling World Cup.
Whoa.
Esports All-Star Battle. This is an instant subscribe and save.
I love that they call it esports.
Yeah.
It is.
It is. Because it's not a real sport.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah. I think there's a space between sports and competition that like maybe it's just a competition and that's okay.
I don't know. I feel like if improvisers can say we have comedy sports.
No, fuck that. We've already slammed on that on this show.
The rules or the points don't matter. Yeah.
What were you saying about billiards?
Billiards. You could watch it all. You used to be able to watch it all the time on ESPN2. Me and my dad would just always put that on. He's a big pool player.
It's cool.
He owns a billiards hall or a pool hall now in East Texas. That's what he's been doing for the last year.
That's kind of cool.
So I've grown up playing pool a lot.
Are you good?
I'm pretty good.
We should go play at the Grand or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't played
Mouse Out of Wedlock at the Grand.
Playing pool.
You can go sit in the room that's reserved for Cold Town.
We could actually record in there, I bet.
They probably would let us.
But yeah, I love it. Now you can watch it on YouTube, just like tons of highlights, like that's the Moscone Cup, which is the big, I think they do it every year, every other year. It's the All-Stars from the U.S. versus the All-Stars from Europe. And it's pretty evenly matched. They tend to go back and forth every couple of years of who wins it. Cool. And those are amazing matches. Snooker, that's one you can find online. What's it called? DAZN. That's the streaming service. My dad has
DAZN.
Yeah, it's got all the sports and pool and snooker on there. Yeah, that's a fun one. Put it on in the background. DAZN.
That's fun.
Yeah, great sport. Also, barely a sport. That's like a game, but like there is with the definition of sports, it's like I think of it as like some sort of physical thing. Like you could tell a chess robot where to put your thing, but it'd be a lot harder to like tell it how to shoot, how to shoot a stick.
That's fair.
It's like something that like requires the human touch.
I like UFC a lot.
Yeah. UFC rocks.
I don't know. It's kind of barbaric, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's like
we need it.
It's the wildest thing you can watch on TV.
I'm with Jakeb on this. I feel just part of human nature needs that kind of that outlet for expression.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like you can't watch anything else like that on legitimate television. So it's entertaining.
I've never really watched
it's a spectacle.
I love spectacle.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've just not, I like seeing aliens and Marines shoot each other on a screen and watching some nerd control that.
Right.
But
instead of someone's arm getting broken.
Yeah, that seems a little brutal to me.
Yeah, it is brutal.
That's why I'm the nerd.
Yeah, it's like a NASCAR, you know, like you watch it for the sport and like there might be a wreck. But then when the wreck happens, you're like, "Oh God, oh why?" But you're not looking away from it. And it's the same thing with UFC. Like I'm not here hoping that their career ends tonight, but wouldn't it be crazy if I watched it live?
That's different for me because I like watching NASCAR wrecks. I hate watching injuries in UFC.
I feel the same. I don't love watching like the injury recaps, but I also feel that way about like wrecks. That's scary. What if these people die? That's a fast moving car.
For some reason, like my brain just is fine with that.
It's like you're okay with stormtroopers dying because they're wearing masks. You know, like they're hidden in the car. They're not really a person. This is a car that crashed. It's not a guy who is maybe gonna not walk again.
What I always thought was missing from Star Wars was 2 sweaty stormtroopers wrestling each other.
Yeah.
And breaking each other's arms.
Because they already have racing.
They do. This is pod racing. They have that.
Now that is pod racing.
Yeah.
Do you have any more comedy you want to do for us, Walker?
Oh, okay.
You get any new?
I assume on the road you've been working. I've been set.
Working on a lot of material, and I've taken the feedback that you had last time that I didn't like. It was just all premises and no.
Yeah, there were no jokes.
Observational comedy,
but done incorrectly.
Yeah. Well, I got a different one for you. I can get a different style.
Oh wow!
And it's a joke. It's a whole set. This is a set.
That's long as fuck.
Yeah, don't worry.
Get that clock started.
That is so long.
Yeah, the rest of the episode is going to be dedicated to this. And Colt, I want you ready on the sound effects and also be ready on my mic volume.
It's too early for this.
Well,
here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
And hey, everybody, welcome back to TickleTowne. Yeah. We had a great show for you. We've had a few great shows for you. A lot of great acts.
Am I doing 1 minute?
First we got another comedian coming for you. He's great. He's a Kansanian. He's from Kansas.
We love those people.
Yeah, they're really nice.
We love them.
He did leave
those
to go to Texas, to go to a big city. He you know him, you love him. He tweets about doom. It's Colt Joyce.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Oh, yeah.
Glad to be here. Hey, I came up here and I want to tell you some jokes, but I got to be honest. I'm not really sure how I got booked for this tour. I'm kind of afraid that some of my content may offend you, so I'm gonna just keep it clean.
Clean
Christian comedy. Yep. So the other day I was sitting at home jacking off.
All right, and that was Colt Joyce.
I don't have anything. Go ahead, Xander.
That was get off the stage, man.
Yeah.
Look, if you can either do the set or you can leave. You can't just be this weird middle. Get off the mic.
I'm off the mic.
Okay, great. So here we go. Next up, we've got the headliner for tonight's show. You've probably you may have seen him a few weeks ago here. He's been touring the South. You may have thought he died in a helicopter crash, but no. Actually, that was a clever prank. This is
Amidala moment.
Walker Nolan.
Hey, hello.
Hello.
Hey, give it up. Keep it going for your MC, Jakeb the Great.
Let's go.
Pew, pew, pew. And of course,
money.
Yeah, he sure does. And of course, keep your applause going for my opener, Colt. This is his first time, and I think he did pretty good.
Thank you.
Hey, most of us our first times can't even get a premise out. All right, he's killing it out there.
Uh-huh.
All right, so everybody, I got a little bit of a story to tell. This is one my father told me, and his father told him. It's the whole thing. Here we go. I love you. Hey, keep drinking. All right.
The crowd work is incredible.
Hey. All right. Hey. Okay.
Yeah.
A pastor. Here's the story. It's gonna go. A pastor is holding auditions for a Sunday morning talent show.
This is a written joke. This is a rote joke. This is a text joke that you're reading out loud on stage.
Yes.
Yeah, he wrote it. Yeah.
Hey, that's how
he would have it memorized.
This is a print joke only. This joke does not work in spoken form. Go ahead.
Yes, it does work in spoken form.
I think it'll work.
Okay.
Most jokes are written, and then they learn them, and they internalize
This
them.
is a fucking Reader's Digest joke.
Colt, do you want to
Get
be on
off the
stage,
stage!
or do you want to be in the audience?
Get off the fucking stage. Clean Christian comedy. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? I'm Xander, clean Christian comedian
Walker.
here. Walker. Oh, fuck. Okay, got to do it again.
Redo the set, yeah.
All right, here we go. Welcome to the stage. It's Walker Nolan.
Hey, what's up? I'm Walker Nolan here. Keep it going for your MC, Jay. And don't give it up for Colt. He sucks. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A pastor is holding auditions for a Sunday morning talent show. His church morale is at an all-time low, so he wants to do something to cheer up the parishioners.
Why are they at an all-time low?
Just the church is going bad. Okay.
Okay.
Most of the auditions are your standard acts, kids singing Christian songs, parents juggling, but everyone seems to be having fun, and that's what's important. As the pastor is about to shut down the audition, in rushes in this family of four with a large trunk labeled props along with large sacks. This family is relatively new to the church and haven't been as active. The father apologizes for being late and asks to audition. Tired but happy this family has shown up, the pastor agrees to let them. They prepare for 20 minutes, putting up lights, rolling out a curtain, setting up a piano. The father takes a seat at the piano. The family is hidden behind the curtain. The tension is high.
It's a laugh a minute, folks. Laugh a minute.
The pastor is excited. This is going to be a big hit.
Yep.
He can already tell. Finally, the lights dim and the father begins playing a vaudeville tune on the piano. And out pops his teen son in the clown costume. His teen son starts juggling. Another juggler, the pastor admonishes to himself. To be fair, this teen son is absolutely killing it. Best juggling by far.
Mm.
The teenage daughter then pops out as a French mime and mimes as she's in a box. Pretty good object work. The son then starts bouncing the balls on the mimed wall. Wow, that's pretty cool. Finally, the mother belly dances her way to the front, her movements intoxicating and completely bedazzling. The music reaches a climax. Incredible. It was all so moving. The pastor cheers. This will be the best talent show by far. That's just the overture. The father quickly cuts in. The music begins again, even louder. The mother begins stripping, her clothes flying off in delicate streams of fabric. The son begins juggling dildos, vibrators, and cock rings in a solar system of sex toys. How did they switch so quickly? The daughter is now blowing invisible penises in the translucent box of her own creation. The piano is wild now. The father is naked and using his penis to play notes on an even tinier piano beneath the larger piano. It's in tune. My God, it's in tune. The mother is now screaming at the top of her lungs in ancient Latin. A portal opens before her and out crawls an identical copy of the pastor. In complete and utter shock, the pastor watches the demonic copy of himself make love to the mother. Sweaty, sweet, demonic love. He recognizes all of his own inadequacies in the movements of his copy. This was true horror, to be shown his true, meager self. The son is now using every orifice to catch and release the juggled items. From hand to ass, to hand to mouth to ear, to hand to ass, the sex toys spin wildly in an orbit around the sun. The daughter is now giving birth to a mimed child. It's so disgusting and so beautiful and so invisible. Are those real cries of a newborn, or is it the shrieking madhouse that has beguiled the pastor, that has beguiled you? Yes, you, listener, are entranced by these words. You have become a part of this story, this woven tale. You in this moment are now in the church, even though you swore to never return to the church. Here you are. You have chosen to live in sin and turned your back on Christ, and now here you are in your lowest moment have become a pawn in my tale. This is hell. Repent for your sins. You dance to the tune played by the pianist. You juggle sex toys with your butthole. This is your future unless you repent. In a flash, the music reaches its hellish conclusion. The father has collapsed upon the keys. His penis has collapsed on the tinier keys. The mother has formed into an egg shape on the ground. The copy of the pastor has disappeared back into the portal. The son is beneath a pile of sex toys. Pools of sweat pepper the floor around him. The daughter caresses a mimed baby. The baby coos from its invisible mouth. The pastor, in tears and on his knees, cries out, "What sins? What sins have been committed? Never in my life have I seen such a beguiling and hellish experience. I have been a pastor for 40 years. This is the only moment I have ever questioned my reality, that I have ever questioned my faith. But at the end, at the beautiful end, my faith returned. For only beauty can be derived from this madness. This is what we need for the Church Talent Show. This is what we need. But the sins, oh my God, the terrible sins. How can you account for such sins on your soul? The father blearily lifts his head and says, it's okay. Christ died on the cross for our sins.
And that has been Xander Nolan. Thank you so much for coming out to
Walker Nolan. Thank you.
Sorry, Walker Nolan. Thank you for coming out to TickleTowne. If you like, if this looks like fun, it is. You can always take our classes. We've got a stand-up 101 that's about to start. We do corporate events,
clean Christian comedy, and clean Christian,
clean Christian comedy,
and clean Christian corporate events.
If y'all just want to head next door, the monster truck rally start. So that was good.
The alternative punchline is the Aristochrists.
Okay.
Dude, oh God. Colt checked out.
Colt is dead. Colt is dead here.
Yeah.
Colt is dead and we killed him.
Yeah.
Okay, hey Jakeb, how you doing?
Dude, I loved that.
Thank you.
I can't make eye contact with you, bro.
Dude,
I can't do it.
Like I'm gonna listeners. I'm sorry to tell you this. A lot of this has been a shield that I've put up. This persona that I've been doing. I'm gonna drop it right now.
For what? The last 18 episodes?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yep.
Yep.
That's pretty much all I've known you for. What are you talking? What's about to happen here?
I just wanted to say, Xander, that was really well written.
Thank you.
And well performed.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I still don't think it's comedy.
What? You don't think it's comedy?
You don't think that was comedy?
I don't think it's a stand-up bit. I don't think it's stand-up. I don't think you're doing stand-up. I think you're reading like a written comedy piece out loud on stage.
That's what a lot of stand-up is.
What?
No, you're performing to an audience. You're literally reading like a text joke.
No,
out loud.
Just because he wrote it with a
I'm
phone
so
doesn't
confused
mean.
by this idea.
No. There's some jokes that only work in text form when you read them. And this is one of those jokes, I think. I think reading that would be so incredibly funny. I don't think it works like read aloud.
I think it works perfectly read aloud.
I thought it worked well read aloud.
Okay.
Okay, I get what you're saying, kind of.
Like reading that would be hysterical. But if like you did that on like you performing it just to us is also funny.
Well,
like I want to clarify.
Right.
I want to clarify. What you just did to us is funny.
To us.
That is funny. I'm not going to actually perform this in front of an audience. I understand. But like,
yeah, I'm saying like for the sake of the bit, I'm saying like if you were to do this on stage, it would bomb.
Probably.
Yeah.
Any clean Christian comedy bombs.
No. Like this form would bomb.
The Aristocrat.
The Aristocrats is a classic.
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh. That might be what he's missing here.
Okay.
That might be the piece he's missing.
Okay.
Is there a famous? Is this like based on something?
So the Aristocrats is it's a famous like anti-joke that comedians kind of use to kind of test like flex their writing muscles. The joke for the Aristocrats is a talent agent is looking for
you just got to do one. Can I do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
A talent agent is looking for a new act to put on, and he's holding auditions. He's getting not a lot of responses, so he's about to close up shop when a family of four comes in. They say, "Hey, we got a show. Can we audition for you?" The producer's like, "Okay, sure. Let's do it." So he sits down in his office. The father, a wife, two kids walk in. The father starts doing some tap dancing while the mother helps him out. The kids start joining in the tap dancing. Then suddenly they all rip off their clothes and the father and the wife start fucking each other. They just go to town. Meanwhile, the brother and the sister also start fucking each other. Then the father gets his asshole eaten by the son, whose asshole is eaten by the daughter, whose asshole is eaten by the wife. Then their dog runs in and does a train along all of them. Nuts every time all over their face. They rub the nut together. They take a big vat of puke that they also brought in. They all jump in it and they spin around in a big puke tornado. Meanwhile, every time that their faces get next to each other, their tongues are out and they're licking each other, making a technical kiss every time.
I don't think I get it.
And then they all jump back out. They take one big bow, and as they bow, all of the cum that was in them comes out of them onto the ground. The talent agent sits there for a second and says, "Wow, well, that was interesting. What do you call yourselves?" And the father says, "The Aristocrats."
I don't I just don't understand.
One of the things about the joke is that it's like the punchline isn't really there. It's more of like, what can you do in that middle section of telling the story to like elongate and kind of make it your own personality.
So yeah, the joke, like if you were to define this as a joke, the joke itself is that they are doing something disgusting and they are calling themselves the Aristocrats. So it's a free-form joke where it's just everyone's opportunity to be as gross and disgusting as you want to for like, up to 20 minutes of talking.
Yeah.
And then you end it with this non-punchline.
It was there's a documentary early aughts.
Penn Jillette made it.
Penn Jillette, where it's just like the whole thing is just going to various comedians and getting their version of the Aristocrats. So you have like Gilbert Gottfried, who's just like really, really good.
He did it at Hugh Hefner's roast right after 9/11. He did a 9/11 joke like 2 weeks after 9/11 at Hugh Hefner's roast, and the crowd was like, too soon, and he was like, all right, and then he did the Aristocrats for like 10 minutes.
It's like it's not a good joke.
The wife starts
I'm gonna be honest,
fucking the dog.
I hate that. I don't like that at all.
Fair. I
don't think that's funny.
Ooh, I don't know.
But
this Colt guy anymore. I thought he was a comedian.
Doesn't like monster rattlers or the Aristocrats.
Like what does he like?
This middle class.
I don't think like what you performed. Like I think it's funny for the show. Like
right. Like I wrote it for the show.
Yeah, I think like your bit is funny. I think the premise of the Aristocrats I don't like. I think it's bad.
Fair.
I think it's lazy.
I always like I get it. Like it's not something you actively perform. It's more of a comedy nerd joke. It's a joke for comedy nerds.
Sure, but I'm like a comedy nerd and I didn't even know what this. I don't know what this is.
I mean, that's on you.
This guy doesn't sound much like a comedy nerd.
That's a you thing more than anything. Like I'm not saying like all comedy nerds have to know it. You're also a little younger. It's just like a thing that comedy. Like I'm not saying it's a good thing, but comedy people kind of use it as like a tool to flex, and I was using it as a learning opportunity,
as a tool for Christ.
I think you did well. I think it's good. Like I'm being legitimate. Like I think it was funny what you did.
I think Christians need a version of this joke.
Exactly,
for sure.
And that's what I did.
Yeah,
I established it for Christ.
Yeah, you do it for like pastors. They all go to conventions and everything. They want to have a little inside joke they can talk about. Colt, you have any jokes you want to share with us?
No, I'm just I'm trying to like figure out why would the Aristocrats be like a form?
So
like I just don't get like why.
Back in the old days of comedy, you couldn't be gross on stage like you can now. You don't have your Sarah Silvermans or your George Carlins.
That's an interesting theory, yeah.
So back in the day, they were all the guys were on stage and they're like, yeah, your wife's she's gonna hit me with a frying pan, and then behind the scenes they'd be like, oh yeah, I'm fucking this shit, yeah. But you couldn't do that on TV because
I mean like both sides of that seem like lame in my opinion.
Yeah, comedy evolves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Comedy evolves.
The Aristocrats.
We're not like trying to actively defend
it. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying I don't like it. I think
that's fair. I think it
seems
fine.
Lame.
It's like it's a tool of the old age. And I think it's fun to like if you're just starting to write jokes, be like, hey, here's this thing.
Sure.
The whole point of like it is like the
I'm not,
one of the first.
Please don't take this as like a fits. I'm not trying to hurt either of your feelings.
I don't think any of us are hurt. Good. I'm not particularly attached to the.
I'm not trying to be, like. I guess feelings is a weird way to say it. I'm not trying to be mean or like say that it was bad. I'm just saying like I don't get it and I don't like it.
I wrote the Aristocrats the first time.
Yeah, so we're really offended right now.
Pretty pissed off. That is a good joke.
Okay.
Did you know that shit in the butthole is funny?
Mm-hmm. It's
deep comedy knowledge right there.
I don't know. I get the side of it where it's like it is lame or whatever. I don't necessarily always think it is. I like it as like a fun little tool, like learning a basic form of like whatever. Like this is a short form game. Like it is a game for like comedians to kind of be like, here's this middle section where we can. I like looking at it as a form of expression, like using that middle period of like, what can I say here that is different than what other people say.
But aren't you kind of limited by the bounds of the game in that sense, where like it has to be incredibly vulgar about a talent show? Like, isn't that
the only thing? The only thing is it is a talent show
and it's vulgar.
You don't have like the comedians have done it without the vulgarity.
Yeah, my favorite version of the Aristocrats that I've ever done was a talent agent's looking for a new act. A family comes in and they do a bunch of like gross shit. They like fuck or whatever, and at the end they say they're the Aristocrats.
What?
It's the anti-joke version of this anti-joke.
Just like,
and they do a bunch of gross shit and they call themselves the Aristocrats.
I have maybe this is like a broader thing for me that I don't like anti-jokes. I think anti-jokes are like lame and not funny and boring and like
I like
lazy.
anti-jokes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of anti-jokes. I think
they're all repeated is my problem. Like they're all the same. Like they're all just you heard an anti-joke one time and you do an anti-joke. Like no one's coming up with original anti-jokes.
I don't know about that. I feel like it is it's a genre. Like, repeating a joke is different.
Why did Jimmy fall off the swing?
Why?
He had no arms.
So that is different than what I'm describing.
That's an anti-joke.
Yeah, but like there's examples of good versus bad anti-jokes. Like that's tried and played out. Although, to be fair, when I was 9 and I heard that for the first time, you know,
it's funny the first time you hear it.
Exactly. Like it tricks your brain. Like this idea of like, oh, what's the clever punchline here? Let me try and think of it. Oh, it's just obvious.
Maybe I'm just a hater. Maybe I just hate anti-comedy. Could be.
Colt wants
pure
authenticity.
How do you feel about Kaufman?
Who?
Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman.
I think he was dead before I was born, so I don't really care. I'm not making comedy for people in the 80s, so I don't need it.
How do you feel about Jim Carrey as Andy Kaufman?
As Andy Kaufman? Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that movie, Man on the Moon? That movie?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I haven't seen it.
Andy Kaufman, more like performance artist than anything else.
Okay.
And I think it's worth any comedian in the world or just anyone who's interested in comedy should at least know a little bit about Andy Kaufman. I
think maybe what we're butting up against here, and it's kind of interesting, is like I don't give a fuck about anything like pre-2010 comedy wise. Like I do not care. I won't watch it. I don't care what they did. I'm not going to learn anything from it.
I think
that's my opinion. See,
I would disagree. Like for the most part, that you wouldn't learn anything. You would like
sure.
There's certain types of comedy.
Sure.
There's certain types of comedy that transcend the ages in the way that it's like it is pure performance and like it is something that exceeds
like Buster Keaton or Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah,
those hold up.
Charlie Chaplin does not hold up. Mostly Charlie Chaplin was like a pedophile.
Yeah, well, art and artist, but like the movies, funny. Yeah. I just like 2 months ago watched what's the one where he plays Hitler, the Hitler equivalent, the dictator.
The Great Dictator is the newest one from Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, well, it's something like
Springtime for Hitler. That's a musical.
Yeah, that's a musical.
Yeah,
well, that's the producers. No, but yeah, Charlie Chaplin, he famously played Hitler in a movie at a time where Hitler was coming to power. Yeah. And the studios in Hollywood were like, yeah, we're not going to film this thing. So he was like, I'll get it filmed myself. And it is funny. Physical comedy holds up. It transcends time. Just someone being a slappy stick
I think there's stuff to learn. I just feel like the form evolves. Like in the same way you wouldn't go back and listen to like, it just feels like it's changing so fast and like it's so different than like movies. Like comedy is so different than movies. And where like you can go back to old movies and you can be like, oh, this is kind of you can kind of do it with comedy too. But like this is a time capsule, and it's important that this is a time capsule. But like you're not gonna like repeat it. You're not gonna like use that form. I think you need to be like more on the cutting edge for this comedy stuff to work out for you, in my opinion. I feel like way too many people are looking at like old people, like even like Jim Carrey, and like just trying to copy Jim Carrey's mannerisms and stuff. Like,
yeah,
there's a difference between like copying or studying and understanding.
Yeah.
With physical comedy, with Abbott and Costello, with Andy Kaufman, with George Carlin, with these like comedians, like sure they're old for their time and they're dated at certain points, but like parts of their comedy exceed that kind of like
fair,
thing. And if you're not looking at it with a critical eye and being like seeing what you can kind of take away from it and what you can be like, oh, what don't I like about it? Why am I not engaging with this piece of art? Or why am I engaging with this piece of art? Why does this interest me? And just, I think like you're cutting yourself off. I'm not trying to like point.
No, I've like seen old comedy.
Sure.
I just like, also like a month or two ago watched one of George Carlin's 90s stand-up bits, like one of the ones that like this New York one that was supposed to be one of his really big ones, and I was very disappointed by it.
I think more than just like even old comedy is like I don't watch new comedy either. Like I don't want to pick up anything from anyone. Like I don't want your mannerisms. Like, not I'm pointing at Xander, but I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like,
you know what my manner is.
No,
you definitely don't want this.
I don't even want to like watch Nick Mullen do stand up because I don't want to copy him. You know, like the people that I respect in comedy, I don't want to watch them other than like their specials. Like, I just don't want to like have my brain be affected by that. I want to be completely original. I don't want anybody else's shit in my head.
I guess there's a part of me that I don't believe anything could be truly original. And so it's I agree with that. We're too. Like a melting pot of the things we like.
But there's levels to it. There's degrees of originality.
Yeah, I mean, like, sure. But at a certain point, like, you're just like, you are an amalgamation of everything you like and things that you like made up your background and things you don't like. And which, like, I appreciate a different perspective. But like, I like when I finally got into Stavros. Yeah, Stavros. I was like, I watched all of his shit. And I'm like, I love that type of crowd work to the point where I'm like, if I were to do stand up, I would want to do it more like that.
Yeah.
Like, it introduced me to like a form of comedy that I was like, I don't want to do stand up like that. I don't want to do stand up just because like there's nothing I really enjoy or engage with.
Yeah.
That much to want to do it myself. Until I saw certain comedians, I'm like, okay, I can see the style and I want to take that away from them. And I think of it as more of a positive thing. Like, I'm not stealing his style. Like, I'm not as mean, like as inherently quick-witted and mean as Stavros. Like, I'm not going to be that.
Right.
But like, I like taking the idea of that kind of like very engaged crowd work and being like, okay, I wouldn't want to do that more of that kind of stuff in my own stuff.
Here's a different question. If you were preparing for a stand-up show, would you continue to watch Stavros?
Yes.
I wouldn't. I would hard cut out every other, like I watch it now, like I study it now even, but I'm not trying to do stand up. If I was like gearing up to try to get to a place where I was like ready to do stand up, I would stop watching everybody.
What I would do, and I think that's just as like we
it's
have
different processes.
Different processes. Like, and I enjoy that and I engage with that. My thing with Stavros and what I would do if I was like, I'm doing a stand up 2 weeks from now. I would, the first thing probably, like if I were to like really study comedy, I wouldn't study like crowd work, because you shouldn't. Like, crowd work is another level of,
that's like end game shit.
Right. Like, that is like you fully mastered the craft. But I think it is worth studying and putting like and writing down and like truly studying and like writing down, watching a clip, laughing, pausing and trying to understand why you laughed. And like writing that down and being like, okay, this is what I'm engaging with.
Sure.
And it was like, you can take away, like strip away, like he made a mean comment. It was a funny but kind of mean comment towards this person, and it worked out. But like, what additional part of that? It's like what he did was he engaged with a very specific point, and he ended it, and then he added additional like his own layer, and then asked another question.
Yeah.
So like just taking that base formula. Like, it's very base formula, taking that and then applying like my own style to it, going from there.
Sure. And there's stuff to learn from old comedy too. Like, I feel like maybe I was too harsh with that when I said it initially on the show, but I don't know. Like, it's just so different these days. What do you think, Jake? Is it
absolutely? I mean, it's very different. That's
the world is different. The crowds are different. Like, how are you going to pick up anything?
When I go back to those old stuff like this George Carlin one that I was watching, what I have to focus on with it is it is kind of like research. It's not like let's watch this to laugh. It's more like, why were these people laughing at this in 1994? Like what like this was considered groundbreaking at the time, and this is something that's like so far back. So at the very least, it's interesting as a like historical landmark of like just being able to measure in history how the culture was, being able to look at it and be like, oh wow, they really thought this was cutting edge and offensive, when now it's something that like I would hear someone on the street say, like here at any open mic. And so, going back with that perspective of it, like being able to just analyze how crowds have evolved. I'm not sure that like I watched it and took anything that I would do comedically from it, but certainly at the very least,
it was funny?
I think it was 2 hours long. It was an hour and a half long. I probably laughed for 6 minutes of it total.
That's bad.
Those are bad rates. But that's also, here's the opposite perspective of it. You can watch it and learn what not to do.
Exactly.
Now. You can see, oh, this didn't resonate with me. Oh yeah, so
yes, that's fair.
Yeah, don't just yell. Don't just name things about airline food or like about the airplane experience anymore. Turns out that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. That like I feel like there's value in that. Like I think it's always fun to try to engage with. I just like trying to find ways to engage with art.
I feel like I have this thing specifically where like new comedians coming up, I can smell the influences on you, and it it freaks me out. I don't like it. Like new stand-ups coming up, if they're copying mannerisms, this is mostly for stand-up, but if they're copying mannerisms, if they're copying like delivery, like cadence, like I don't know why, but for some reason my brain just like locks onto that immediately, and I hate it. I don't want to do it to myself. So that's kind of maybe where I'm coming from. But
it's one of those things, like, I don't see a way, and this is just my own personal process, I don't see a way that like getting out there and not trying to follow some rails and guidelines is like, I can see that being a way to like, okay, I like this cadence of way of form of storytelling. I like this, and this kind of gets me out there. And the more I'm on stage, the more of my own personal voice I find to like get out there. Like, you're going to reek of your influences until you define your own voice. Like, that is what that is. Like, I made the joke about it earlier, but that is like, that is the way of actually finding it. And it's one of those things of getting past your own internalized cringe and like accepting, like, I'm faking it right now until something works for me.
I don't know if that's the only way to do it though.
Well, guys, I got to get back to Baltimore. I don't know how much more of this discussion we can have. I got to get the Q train up to Baltimore through the city.
All right. Sorry, Jimmy. We just invited you on, never introduced you, and you kind of just been hanging out.
I've been talking a little. I got to go to Baltimore.
No, Jimmy, stay. We invited you.
Bay.
I know. I get it, man. We invited you. We invited you to come out to pitch your book that you've been selling, and you were going to go, and like, we're so sorry. We made this conversation entirely about us.
I don't know nothing about no comedies. I just know about eating lobster, watching what's another Baltimore sports team? They got a soccer team.
The Ravens.
I said the Ravens earlier.
Oh, the Orioles.
I said that one too. Do they got some sort of hockey?
The Baltimore Bearbacks?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what I likes about you guys. Soda pop, gotta get out of here. Bye.
No, Jimmy, talk about your book. The book's about eating lobster?
Yeah, it's called the Bible too. It's a lobster cookbook.
Can you? That's a really great title. Can you explain how you got to that?
Yeah, I was reading the Bible.
Wow.
I thought to myself, hey, there's not enough lobster in here. I could use some more lobster.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time they mention lobster is that you shouldn't be eating it.
Crustaceans, dirty sea creatures.
Yeah, they mention that in the Bible.
Hooves. Do lobsters got hooves? I don't know if
they
the claws count as hooves. It's a split claw. I don't know.
It's claws, but also their little hooves on their, like, they have hooves at the end of their little.
That's true.
Look, I'm glad you're finally trying to do right by me and get me in the conversation about my book.
But you gotta go.
I gotta get on the train.
Jimmy, I'm so sorry, but if like. Is there any, like, where can we buy the Bible to?
So what are Jake's plugs, Jimmy?
Barnes and Nobles. Jake's in the bathroom, so you got to follow him on Venmo at TheJakev. Send him monies, and also buy the Bible too now on BarnesandNoble.com. Baltimore.
That's great. I love Jimmy.
He's so cool.
God, I wish he would come by more often. But every time he comes by, we just talk about everything but whatever Jimmy is talking about.
Doesn't he own a seafood restaurant?
He owns a seafood restaurant. He came on the first episode. He was supposed to talk about that.
Yeah,
on his first episode. He never had a chance to talk. 5th episode, he came on to promote his like, he was helping a young child receive like their Make-A-Wish thing, and he needed help supporting that, and he came on, and we didn't let him talk.
Yeah, I mean, that was an important episode, but I kind of feel bad about it. I'm glad.
You don't feel bad? I don't feel bad. Yeah. Jimmy is on so many podcasts all the time. He's like a regular guest with everybody.
He somehow just like has a locator, and he just shows up. It's kind of weird. Well, I guess that'll be the show.
Are we at time?
Yeah, we're over pretty significantly.
Whoa, very sorry about that.
I was fine. I don't know.
Very sorry about that.
Do your plug, Xander.
You can find me at ZanFrancisco69 on Twitter.
Still haven't changed that one?
I don't know how to deal. Like,
I can
Twitter,
show you. It's so easy to do.
Twitter is having an issue with clean Christian comedy. They will not let me change it.
What I think is happening here is that Xander doesn't know how long he's going to be a Christian and doesn't want to lose the sweet name ZanFrancisco69.
No, it's a Twitter. It's a Twitter thing. It's
Someone's
a Twitter
gonna
thing.
squat on it if he leaves it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that person is me. I'll give up James Earl Jones.
It's a pretty strong username. I don't know if I give it up.
And I might make us an Instagram at some point. I don't know.
Okay. This is Colt. You can follow me, Colt45Joyce on Twitter. Follow the show, Mouse Out Wed on Twitter. You can follow my personal stuff on YouTube at Colt Joyce.
And you can also check out the documentary "The Aristocrats" on Prime.
Yeah. Also, like if you're just listening to audio, there's a video version of this, not with like cameras. It's just like a visualizer, but that's on YouTube if that's easier for you and you want to switch over. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, you could watch our little funny wave.
There's clips on there too. There's clips, and we're gonna do.
We got a couple clips, and we got some more on the way because I learned how to edit.
The YouTube will probably be the biggest platform, so if you want to be there, probably go there.
Yeah, if you want to ride this wave before it tsunamis the mainland, you better join now.
The ground floor of this F tier podcast, you can get there.
NFP non-fungible pod.
Yeah,
should we have called it that?
No.